Hi guys, the episode that you're just about to listen to is generously sponsored by our affiliates Board Game Crate. Board Game Crate provide a monthly subscription service where they get fresh new games delivered straight to your door. Just head over to www.boardgamecrate.co.uk, and furthermore, if you use our discount code UnluckyFrogIsAwesome, all lowercase, all one word, you'll get a cheeky little discount. It's easy to remember because it's true. Hello and welcome to the Unlucky Frog Gaming Podcast. You are joined by your usual hosts here, Josh Hartley and Ben Porter. Ben, how are we doing today?
I'm doing okay. Like I'd said to you just before we started recording, in my work it's coming up to a very busy period.
Funnily enough, when things go dark and cold, people realise that they need their electricity and boilers working.
Yeah, so it does mean that me and my dad do get a lot busier, which is, slightly unfortunate because things in board gaming get somewhat busier.
It's almost like there's some big annual holiday where people exchange gifts.
Yeah,
coming up
and set it as the deadline for everything for that year. As if no one else thinks to do that. But,
yeah.
So I on the Saturday when we're recording, we're getting so busy now that I'm having to work Saturdays.
Yeah, so you're doing like 6 days a week.
Yeah, up until Christmas. But I was working in a vet's today.
All right.
And so you get all sorts of animals coming and going, and some of them are quite distressed. So you get kind of used to seeing that, it's the animal equivalent of going to a hospital. No one's glad to go to the hospital. Or the dentist, right? Yeah. So, a lot of them are really unhappy. But I saw an animal today that made me genuinely nervous.
What was it?
It was a Weimaraner, right?
Right, oh, okay, right.
So they're quite big.
Yeah, I had my family had a Weimaraner when I was very little. Well, I do remember. You could put a saddle on one, basically.
They're a popular breed.
Yeah.
They are quite excitable, but this was not like any Weimaraner I'd ever come across.
Okay.
Right? It came in and it was breathing really heavily, and its mouth was permanently hung open. And we're in Scotland, right? So it's not like it's hot.
Yeah. It's got no reason. It's got no reason to pant.
No, so it's panting heavily, and its tongue's just lolling out its mouth, and it's drooling everywhere.
Aye. And
its eyes were like really wide.
Oh.
Yeah, like quite. The hyenas from The Lion King.
Yeah.
And there's the daft one, Ed.
It looked like Ed.
He looked like Ed.
Oh, poor thing.
So he's just walking around looking deranged, and the owner's talking to the receptionist, and then he just has a shit in the middle of the foyer. Just squeezes one out.
Oh.
And
no.
The guy nearly backed up over it. My dad had to go, what's where you're doing that? It was,
a mess.
In every sense of the words.
Good Lord.
And the mops came out, and the guy's trying to scrape it up, and
Look, there's this is one of the things that comes with pet ownership is you have to clean up excrement. So who owns who, really?
Yeah.
But hopefully he or she is feeling better now. Anyway, it sounds like they were in a bad way, but
I don't know what was. I mean, I do feel quite bad, but it was quite.
It took a dump in the middle of the room, which is kind of funny, though.
Yeah, but this, like, as far as animals go, right? Dogs they have quite expressive faces.
Yeah,
but this was just like nothing was there. It was really strange, but in that kind of.
It hadn't raided like the vet supply of ketamine before.
He's just absolutely fleeing, yeah.
Before they got in. But,
yeah, he was just storing at his box. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, speedy recovery, little guy or girl. So
it was the guy's name was Edmund.
Ah, right, Edmund.
Yeah,
it's a It's a very formal name.
Might
for a
edit
dog.
that out just in case the owner's listening.
Aye.
But
I think we're fine.
Yeah.
So aside from working in vets and what else have you been up to?
Gaming wise, I've not been up to so much as far as tabletop goes.
Aye.
Because Josh is laughing because he already knows what's coming. But for those of you who are plugged into the video gaming scene, you may or may not be aware that a game called Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, and I may have been playing it somewhat.
How many hours?
Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that.
The first step is admitting that there's a problem.
Yeah. Well, is it a problem if you're having fun though?
I'm sure most addicts have fun while they're doing their thing.
Well, I don't know, like, because they get the come down and all that. Anyway, it's a.
Have you experienced a come down after stopping playing Red Dead?
Not a come down, but it's weird. Like all joking aside for a minute, the game world that they've created is so immersive that I have moments where I sit and I think about it, and I feel a sense of sadness that world is gone.
All right.
Because it's set in 1899, right, which is pretty much when the whole Manifest Destiny thing fully takes hold in America.
Yeah, and they settle the rest of that continent, basically.
And I don't know, it's kind of sad that there's no true wilderness anymore, you know?
I don't know, you could go to, like, the steppes of Asia.
Yeah.
Just fancy taking yourself off to Mongolia, maybe?
You could go to Postle Park.
It's a little closer.
Yeah. Certainly wild.
Aye, yes. For different reasons.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard very good things, and I'm not really a video gamer, to be honest. I used to be, but I don't know.
Just kind of moved away from it.
Yeah. I much prefer my cardboard.
Well, I hadn't been playing for months, and then this game came out, and I thought I'll pick it up, and I was just hooked.
You just hooked, aye.
But for all the snobbery that there sometimes is. From people in tabletop with regards to video games, for me is a stark reminder that video games provide experiences that the tabletop just can't.
Aye.
And vice versa.
I was just going to say, it's true both ways, and design from one informs the other as well.
That's true.
Again, both ways.
Yeah.
See, I've always maintained the original DLC or Loot Crate was the Magic the Gathering booster pack. And that's been around in tabletop for 25 years now.
It's true, yeah.
Whereas it's only become such a thing in video games recently. But yeah, I've been playing a bit more Pathfinder and a bit more Magic the Gathering. We'll get to that in a moment. But what news do we want to cover off before we crack on?
Well, you mentioned earlier Christmas coming up, so there's a whole ream of releases that have followed after Essen. But as far as stuff that ourselves and our listeners are probably interested in, Fantasy Flight have brought out a couple of big games. They've got Arkham Horror 3rd Edition is now out in the wild. Along with Discover Lands Unknown, which is the first of Fantasy Flight's unique games.
Yes.
So it's for those of you that don't know what the unique games are, Josh and myself can each buy a copy of Discover Lands Unknown, and they'll have different components in them.
Just kind of a neat idea.
Yeah. The cynical part of me is like it's just a shameless.
Well, I know how we can sell more games.
Yeah. But at the same time, like you say, it's kind of neat. There's maybe a certain argument about replay value, but again, it's like, well, the replay value that you're talking about in that context is linked intrinsically to the marketability of unique games.
Yeah. And their other unique game is due out imminently as well, KeyForge.
KeyForge,
that comes out
sometime over the next couple of weeks. I know that they're doing the pre-releases over this coming week as of recording. So we might try and pop down.
I want to at least try it. I mean, it's a card game by Richard Garfield, so it's worth giving a go.
I'll need to try and source them, but allegedly some of the decks have been recalled already.
Really?
And it's because again, like you're saying, KeyForge, also a unique game. Every deck box that you buy in this game contains a completely unique deck.
Yes.
To that end, apparently they all have randomly generated names based on what is in them, and some of them allegedly feature some unfortunate pairings of words.
Lord.
So apparently it's like 0.05 of the amount printed. That's what Fantasy Flight are saying.
0.05 of, like, I don't know how many copies they're printing, though. That amounts to some number.
It will be at least thousands, I would imagine. But they've said to people, if you send them back, they'll send you 2 decks.
Nice.
But if you own a deck with one of these names, apparently some of them are howlers.
Can we say any of them on the podcast?
I have not yet sourced.
Oh right,
them, but
we need to find them.
So and if you know of any of them, please let us know.
Yeah,
it was only the news announcement that I had seen, and I think Fantasy Flight are they're obviously trying to get rid of this, right?
Just like, how did they let that happen?
Well, it did. So yeah, if you know of any of the names of some of these decks that have been recalled, then please let us know.
Because we want a laugh.
we will read them out on the podcast.
Oh yeah. Well, unless they're, I don't know how I don't know how bad they are, but yeah. So I don't know if I want to commit to reading them out. Like,
I don't know. I think that could be good.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Well,
it is a computer that's done it, so no one's to blame.
The computer might have done it. Someone could
That's
have
what Fantasy Flight are saying.
The computer did it. Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. Yes. So as you are listening to this right now, the most recent Pro Tour for Magic the Gathering will have happened in Atlanta, Georgia. It's happening as we are recording this, so we don't know who's won it just yet. But the nice thing is, very, very diverse format. Lots of different decks making a showing, which has been a stark contrast to recent times, where there's just been 2 or 3 decks across the hundreds of participants that actually made an impact. So it's a nice little tidbit, and I'm still enjoying playing Guilds of Ravnica. Yeah, I know you don't like Magic the Gathering, so it's...
Well, you know, I'm sure people out there listening will appreciate the information.
So that's the latest on Magic.
Yeah.
There we go. Anything else been happening in the news?
So we've got Glasgow Games Festival.
Yes.
For people in the Strathclyde area, maybe just beyond. We've got that happening on the 17th of November.
Royal Concert Hall.
Yep.
In Glasgow, right in the city centre.
We went last year. It was okay.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I always feel like it should be much bigger, given that we are in Scotland's most popular city. You would think this would be the big convention for Scotland, right?
For Scotland, and then also, to be fair, it should probably be pulling some people up from the north of England as well.
Yeah.
It's not too far.
That being said, though, when we went last year, it gave us a great opportunity to try some prototype games out, and we're looking forward to seeing some of the familiar faces there with their wares.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to meeting up with some friends, but as far as the event itself goes, I hope, first of all, that there's more retailers there.
Yes.
It'd be nice to see more retailers involved, more retailers selling their wares. I hope there's just more people there in general, because the amount of people in the lead up to and after Glasgow Games Festival that are actively involved in tabletop in the Glasgow area that were not aware that it was happening was quite baffling.
Yeah.
So hopefully they've upped the ante a wee bit for this year.
Looking forward to it though.
Yeah. I'm sure it will be enjoyable, but as you say, I feel like it could be
bigger.
Yeah.
So I think that wraps it up for news wise. Was there one other thing?
Yes, there is. Blackstone Fortress.
Oh, yes, that has gone up for pre-order now, has it?
Yep, so Blackstone Fortress is the latest iteration of Warhammer Quest by Games Workshop.
Except it's Warhammer Quest in space.
Yep, and it's the first time we're going to space, which is pretty neat.
To be clear, it's set in the 40k universe, so they haven't somehow built a spaceship in Age of Sigmar.
Do you know what's really interesting, though?
What?
There's not a single Space Marine in the playable characters.
Yeah, that is an interesting thing, actually, given that's kind of like the flagship for Warhammer 40k. Bit too powerful, maybe?
Possibly, but maybe they were also just wanting to have something a bit different.
A bit more diverse.
Because pretty much all of the promotional models for 40k are Space Marines.
Yeah.
So I don't know how distinct they would have been able to make a Space Marine for a game like this, because particularly with Warhammer Quest, they seem to want to have something a little bit more bespoke, because the Silver Tower characters were all
very unique
to that game, at least initially. The main characters are Rogue Trader.
Oh yeah, nice.
Which is nice. He looks very sort of Victorian.
So
with the
I've
big
seen
cigar
him. Yeah, it's nice. I like it. It's almost. It's got a very steampunk look to him.
There's a couple of I don't know what they call them in 40k, but they're like halflings.
Rattlings.
A couple of rattlings. There's a Kroot rifleman by the looks of them.
The Kroot, one of the races that part of the Tau Empire.
Yeah, they're this slightly more primitive race, sort of hunter, animal handler type folk. They remind me a bit of like a race you would get in Abe's Odyssey.
Yeah, I know what you're getting at.
Yeah. And then there's a couple others that I'm not quite sure what they are, and there's an Eldar or Eldari, whatever they're called now, sharpshooter. She looks like a elf space ranger.
There we go.
Yeah. What's interesting about this one is not just the fact that it's set in space in the eponymous Blackstone Fortress. It uses hexes.
Rather than just squares.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think the movement's going to hopefully be a bit more
fluid,
a bit more dynamic.
Yeah.
So I imagine we will play that at some point.
Almost certainly, right?
Yeah. Probably sometime over the next couple of months. But looks exciting. It's nice to see that they're keeping up their stride with Warhammer Quest, because it's always been one of the more well loved
specialist games,
games, and for those of you who are maybe a little bit longer in the tooth, you maybe remember it as Hero Quest. It's been around for a long time, and it's not just a great enjoyable game if you like games. It seems to me as though it's got a special place as a gateway game.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people that got it way back when they graduated to D&D and stuff like that from Hero Quest, so it's great to have it back.
Yeah, so looking forward to giving that a go. Just one final thing, Charlotte is going to be at the swap market next weekend.
Well, I don't know if she'll be at it because unfortunately it conflicts with Glasgow Games Festival.
Ah, yes.
But you are right. Swap Shop on Victoria Road in Govanhill, which is the south side of Glasgow, are doing a special promotion whereby if you trade in board games, you can get 3 points.
There we go. To buy anything that they offer.
Yeah, you can get things like they do classes. You can use it to purchase other stuff. So it certainly seems an interesting little thing, the swap shop. I've yet to go down and check it out. But a great little community-driven initiative.
There we are.
Looks of things.
So that's happening next weekend as well.
Yep.
So. Right, onto gaming.
What have we been up to?
It feels like it was ages. I suppose it was a while ago, but we actually haven't recorded a podcast since it happened. We had a Halloween session for our Pathfinder campaign.
Okay.
Right. So we have returned back to our village, and on our journey back, we had 2 people join us. Right. A guy and his apparently brother. His brother was huge but dim-witted.
Sounds wholesome.
Yeah, but they were fine. Nothing suspicious at all. Anyway, turns out that a while ago, and this is before I had my first character, the sheriff Ellard, who was the traitor, and he got killed off. He got killed in a crypt because there was some cultists trying to resurrect the dead.
Cultists doing what cultists do.
Cultists, yeah, exactly.
Cultists be cultists, as the saying goes.
Well, it turns out it was that cult.
Yeah.
And they had come back. They tracked us down. We didn't. Well, Orland didn't know who the hell they were anyway.
So was the big dim-witted brother just 3 cultists like on top of one another?
He was an anti-paladin.
Oh, okay. A Dark Knight.
Yeah, who he didn't kill Ellard. He killed one of Barry's former characters with a giant cursed axe.
So do they call them anti-paladins?
Yeah, yeah. That's a specific class name in Pathfinder.
But it's pretty close to what most other people would maybe recognise as like a Dark Knight.
Yeah, basically.
I'm not sure what they would call them in D&D, but
I think they're anti-paladins in D&D as well.
Yeah. But in Final Fantasy, it's the Dark Knight, which is an outcast paladin.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, it's a paladin, but your alignment is not good. You are evil.
Yeah.
The cultist leader was the other guy, and he was the one who'd killed Ellard. And in a touch that I thought was really, really cool, they had resurrected Ellard, and he was a zombie lord.
Oh.
Yeah, so we got to fight my old character in zombie form, which was really fun. It was a very well done scenario as well, because what had happened was in the middle of the night, they were casting a spell to entrance the rest of the village, and they had formed an angry mob. While they were doing shenanigans.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. Anyway, everything turned out fine. Okay. We managed to kill my old character. And, normality, I think, has been restored. We actually kind of just cut as soon as the fighting finished. So, hopefully everything's fine.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to, come back to the next session. Oh, you all died, by the way, after the fighting finished.
Assassins killed you in your sleep. The end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit like when you see those films where they try to tie the ending up a bit too quickly towards the end, and you're a bit like, what just happened?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Well, they do that in Layer Cake. Have you ever seen Layer Cake?
I've not seen Layer Cake, but the one that I was thinking of was Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh, yeah.
When the scarecrow at the end was like, I was the prince
I was the prince all along. What? Yeah. It was a bit weird.
Yeah.
It's Miyazaki, though.
And that was the end.
Yep.
Everyone's just sitting there kind of dumbfounded. Well,
I enjoyed it, but what just happened?
Yeah. That was pretty, but I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
So you feel like you've been on some weird trip by the end of that film.
So so that was what's been going on in Pathfinder. So back to it.
So I've actually been playing a couple of miniatures games.
Aye.
Since we last met up, which I haven't for a while, so it was nice. Well, you've played probably as much Underworlds as I have. We've had a go at the new warbands.
Yeah, if those of you who didn't catch it, we live streamed us having a crack at the new warbands. They're really fun.
Yeah,
I do really like the goblins.
Yeah, and we had a go of them afterwards as well, because
I think I got very lucky against Tom.
You curb stomped Tom.
Yeah,
sorry, Tom.
But I think that fanatic, I got very lucky with the rolling there, because I managed to just splatter.
But at the same time, the fact that you roll 4 dice and use 3 of them, it does mean that you have a little bit more control than you do over other scatter mechanics in the game. But they died in their droves to the curse breakers, the poor goblins.
Yeah, that was not pretty. I thought I was doing alright, actually, because I did manage to kill one of your guys, but that just seemed to make the rest of them really angry, and they just absolutely annihilated.
Because it was Amos, it was one of the evocators, because there's only 3 in the Cursebreaker warband, but I don't think you killed any of the Cursebreakers. I think it was the Tzeentch ones. Because we only got into the second round against the Cursebreakers, and you were like, I'm done.
Yeah. That's right.
Because she killed 3 in one go by herself.
Oh god, yeah, that's right.
I was just like,
yeah. I was just a bit sick there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Just to remind you, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But some really neat new mechanics in the game. At first we felt like the Tzeentch warband was a bit pants, but having tried them again, I think there's a way to use them.
Yeah, I think it's just because it's very different
from
all the warbands that have come before them, which is great. It's nice to have a bit of diversity.
Yeah, it does feel like one of those warbands that's maybe a little bit more reliant on its leader than some of the others.
Maybe.
And I know that not everyone likes that, but you can make those sorts of warbands work very well for you. The Chosen Axes is a great example of that. True. And also the Scritch warband, the Skaven, they're a little bit like that, where you're a bit more reliant on your leader than some of the others. But yeah, really enjoying Underworlds. Looking forward to seeing the 2 new warbands, because they've revealed another warband, which we forgot to mention, which is the Godsworn Hunt.
Oh, this is the Sylvaneth.
No,
not Sylvaneth.
No,
sorry.
This is
other
the
elfy stuff. Dryads. Dryads.
No, it's the other Chaos warband.
Oh, this is the unaligned chaos. I thought they were revealing a Dryad one. Oh.
No, they will, but not yet.
Right. So this is the unaligned chaos warband, isn't it?
This is probably what old school Games Workshop fans will recognise as Chaos Warriors.
Chaos United, if you will.
Yeah, they're barbarians.
Yeah.
Basically. Which is great to see that sort of thing back. 80s hair metal barbarians, you know?
Yeah, playing guitar solos. Bitching guitar solos at that.
So I'm it's gonna be good seeing how they work alongside the is it Molog's Mob?
Yeah, the troll and his pals.
Yeah. So really enjoying that game. A great example of how to do an expansion well.
Yeah.
Add some interesting things.
But
don't upset the balance.
Don't try and reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as the other miniatures game I've been playing, I finally got to play Killteam with Tom.
Yeah, how'd it go?
I won, but I think Tom was being pretty generous.
Okay.
Considering it was my first game. For one, he decided to use Imperial Guard, so that he didn't have anything too weird.
Fancy.
Yeah, because it's pretty much the 2 most vanilla warbands you could have got. It was Space Marines and Guardsmen. I loved it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Do you ever think you would enjoy anything set in the 41st millennium?
I did not, but I was able to quantify why I enjoyed this.
Okay.
I hate vehicles.
Just in general?
Well, I do. I mean, anyone that knows me, I can rant for a while about the fact that there's too many cars on the road.
Mm-hmm.
But I just like tanks are boring.
You think so?
Yeah, and see in Star Wars, see the dogfights.
Mm-hmm.
It was the most boring bit in those films for me.
Oh.
And I know I've just angered so many people, but
me as well. They're the best.
They are the worst.
No, I want a Star Wars film about like an X-wing squad. That's what I want. Like
no
Battle of Hoth, man. That's amazing.
The only vehicles that are cool are pirate ships.
It's always not really a vehicle, though.
Yeah, it is a vehicle.
Yeah, strictly speaking.
Yeah. It was the vehicle for several hundreds of years.
Right. Alright. Mad Max.
It's alright.
It's alright.
Yeah.
They were cool. They're really awesome.
Yeah, but it's because it's like over the top.
Yeah.
And the thing is, although there's vehicles, there's like guys like throwing fire bottles and they've got all these mad weapons. Mm-hmm. So there's a bit more to it than that. Tanks are boring. They don't even look nice. And that's why I could never quite get into 40k. It was too industrial.
Right.
Whereas Killteam, it's just the dudes.
Yeah.
I can get behind that. I don't have to paint a tank or a drop pod.
So you're happy with it just being infantry?
Yeah, because, do you know, see when it's like tanks and stuff and the whole industrial thing,
mm-hmm.
It's pretty close to modern day for all it is the 41st millennium. That
tank technology has not got a lot better.
It's not got a lot better. As it
turns out.
It's not got a lot better, but we do live in quite a depressing industrial world, right? And it's like, I don't need to be reminded of that, thanks.
Well, on that cheery note, shall we maybe bring this to a close?
Well,
in conclusion...
I'll quickly share some thoughts on Killteam before I do. First of all, I think it's ruined Wasteland Warfare for me.
Okay.
I think there's only room in my life for one futuristic skirmish game, and I feel like the rules for Killteam are so clever and so polished that Wasteland Warfare, with all of its tokens and all of its cards,
feels a bit clumsy, a bit cluttered.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas granted, Killteam has cards and tokens, but is way more streamlined, and the use of the tokens is completely optional. And they do tell you that it's just there to remind you of things.
Yeah,
and you can actually have your roster with all your stuff on it, and you can just assemble the deck so that it's just the tactics that you're going to be using. A really elegant system. The flesh wound system is so clever.
Yeah.
Because when I first looked at it and saw that the most wounds that most models have is 2, I was like, this is going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, but no.
But the way that the flesh wound system works is when you take an unsaved wound, you roll a dice. And on a 1, 2, 3, the model's taken out on a 4, 5, 6. Or it might be the other way around. But basically, it's a 50-50 chance that it's just a flesh wound.
Yeah, and they'll fight on, basically.
Yeah. But the flesh wounds affect their bravery.
Yeah.
So it's like as their guts are spilling out, or their morale starts to waver.
As it would.
Yeah. It's such a simple but such a clever system. So what it does mean is that you get the odd chance with it, and because cover can improve your odds of getting a flesh wound. So it does mean that you sometimes have guardsmen running around with 3 flesh wounds still going.
Just hobbling around.
Yeah.
Like,
But it really evokes the horror of like modern and future warfare, where it's all centered around these horrible guns just shredding people up.
Yeah.
The cover system, really smart. The way the movement works, and the fact that verticality is incorporated in the base rules, not just advanced.
Yeah.
So it means that like a few of my guys had grapnel launchers, so they were zipping about the battlefield
like Spider-Man in power armor.
Yeah. So in the end, the Space Wolves won. We just sort of called it at a point, and we're saying like they just kind of stuffed the remaining guardsmen into their lockers, type of thing, you know.
Delightful.
Yeah. Back in your locker, nerd.
Yeah. No, it looks fun. I've had a crack at it. I'm kind of tempted to get some sort of Nurgle.
It's a very low investment. That's the other thing. So all these people going, I can't afford that.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
No, like you probably, if you were running Imperial Guard, for instance, you just need a box of Imperial Guard.
Yeah, and that's it.
And then maybe a commander, because they've now added commanders in. But you could just, if you wanted, add more guardsmen in as well. Yeah. So, really clever system. I just love the fact that Games Workshop are continually exploring ways of making the hobby more accessible.
Yeah, because not everyone's got the time, money, or inclination to invest in a full army.
Yeah, as cool as that is.
Yeah.
And we do love seeing that. Like, a fully, we go every so often to Common Ground Games for big, ridiculous battles with 6,000 points aside.
Yeah.
And that's great fun, but like you say, it's you're pretty much allocating a day for something like that. Whereas Killteam, you can play in about 45 minutes.
Yeah. So no, that's good stuff. And with that, shall we bring things to a close?
Yeah. I feel like this might be the one that gets us hate mail for my comments.
What about
vehicular combat?
Well, specifically your comments about the dogfights in Star Wars. I'm considering writing you a strongly worded letter. So
yeah.
Anyway,
I can't be the only one.
I'm sure you're not, but people are seldom wrong by themselves.
Right.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening.
Hi there, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. This is Ewan Bowers for the Unlucky Frog Gaming Podcast, executive producer. I believe that's my title. I believe I put enough into the Patreon. You too can put money into the Patreon. It's highly recommended. It helps these guys out. But if you're too cheap, there's always the Twitter and the Facebook page. You can get those on just searching Unlucky Frog Gaming. And there's also a website, www.unluckyfrog.com.
I want to be a producer.
You can't. There can only be one producer, Tom.